Cloud. And we are here. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. My name is Diana. I am here with the whole you, and we are hosting Doodle Therapy with Allison Cantor from SpaceCraft. We've had Allison on before. She led a really fun knitting event a couple months ago, and we're so excited to have her back. Thank you all so much for joining in. We warmly welcome you and your family to this awesome event this evening. So without any further ado, I'll go ahead and turn things over to Allison to guide you through our session today. Thanks, Allison.
Right, yeah. Hi, guys. I'm Allison. Yeah, like Diana said, I am with SpaceCraft, which was a community arts and crafts space on Capitol Hill that has recently pivoted. We're now just doing online arts and craft classes. And I'm super excited to be here with you today to do Doodle Therapy. I love to try to make these as like interactive as possible. Feel free to speak up, ask questions, interrupt me at any point if you have anything to share. Some of the stuff we're going to be talking about, like we're gonna practice doing some different exercises, and then later there's some visual metaphors that can get a little bit more like personal, so no pressure to share your work at any time, but if you want to, I love to see it. And yeah, thanks for being here. So hopefully you guys have some paper. I gave Diana a link to these worksheets, but no pressure if you didn't get it.
Stop.
What's that?
Oh, sorry. I was talking to my cat and I forgot I was on mute.
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead. You know, you're more than welcome to leave your mics unmuted because we love hearing folks. Yeah, this is going to be a fun interactive time. Allison mentioned that the worksheet had been emailed out to you all. I'm going to pop it in the Zoom chat as well for you all to access in case you hadn't checked your email or weren't able to get it. So you'll see that up shortly.
On screen too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So doodling. I mean, how many of you doodle? Probably everyone does a little bit of doodling in the margins here and there, but sometimes we get kind of stuck doodling the same thing over and over. So hopefully this class will give you some ideas. And it's just kind of an easy way to get some creativity out, which is just so good for our mental health. They say, you know, you've probably seen the rise in coloring books, and that there's studies that say that coloring is like one of the easiest way to get some of the health benefits of meditation without becoming someone who meditates. So yeah, that's what we're going for today. So just to get us warmed up, I want to start by just having everybody do some scribbling. And it can be however you want, but just to get used to our tools, I'm going to make a nice big, using the whole paper, scribble. And then if you have colored pencils or markers or anything of that, any colors, you can take this scribble and already you've got like something you can color in. Just start picking out shapes and coloring them in. If you don't have colors, you just have pen, you could do different textures in your shapes. You could do some stripes or you know, different, you could do polka dots, you could do any kind of pattern in the shape. And mostly I just want you guys to get used to doing what we're gonna be doing, just putting some color down, some pen down, and getting comfy with our tools here. So once we've got that, and the nice thing about drawing is you can set it aside, you can come back to it later, you can throw it away, like there's no rules about happens to these pieces at the end. So, you know, if you don't love your scribble, do a new one. It's just kind of a fun way to get us started here. All right. Take another minute. Just kind of exploring what I've got here. As soon as I add color to something, I always start liking it a little bit more. Cool. All right, let's dive into our worksheets here. So these were developed by someone who used to teach at SpaceCraft named Alyssa. She actually came to me like super burnt out from tech, her tech job, and just wanted to do art, and created this curriculum. And yeah, then was able to kind of get back to it. So really grateful to her for that. But we're gonna draw some mandalas. And mandala is a Sanskrit word that means circle, but they're often these radially symmetric repeating patterns, and they can look really like intimidating to draw, but when you break it down, it's actually really simple, and just we just keep adding layer upon layer to make our mandalas. So here you can see the different shapes that are often used. They tend to be kind of these organic shapes, but they can be more ornate. They usually are kind of round or like petals, but they can be angular as well. It's up to you. Choose your own adventure. So as you make your shapes, you can think about the width, the height, the symmetry. Just some basics here to get your mind going. And with this first exercise, we're just going to practice making these shapes in this radially symmetric way. Alyssa has it here so that you're drawing the petals next to each other. My trick for getting a symmetric number of petals is to go across. So I do then the next one, and then the one across from that. And that makes it so that I'm always drawing 2. So we end up usually with either 6 or 8 all the way around. So then this one, we're doing more ovally petals. And then this one has an outline that goes all the way around the whole shape. And it might not come out that great, but this is why we're practicing. So then this one is showing this one, each petal has an outline. Ooh, I already kind of messed that up. One other trick you can do is, instead of doing an outline, doing an inline, like doing the shape and then doing a smaller one within it. If you finish those 3, then you can come down here and just see this one. I feel like getting the number right is less important, but just to show that you can start with a bigger center if you want to. And just drawing these petals. And they're sort of outlined with just smaller versions of that same shape. It's kind of fun. So like I said, it's all about building layers with mandalas. So on the next sheet, you can see, ways that you can add rows down here. So you can just stack the rows on top of each other. You can offset them so that they're kind of staggered. You could even, there's no real rules. You could put, make a big petal on top of smaller petals if you wanted. And then there's also these common fill patterns, which I love how she broke these down in some very technical terms here. So we've got lines. You can make them, just in art we would call this hatching or cross hatching. Things that dangle down from the top of the petal, some kind of leafy, veiny ways you could fill your petals. Swirls, different shapes. You could do stippling. I love doing stippling. It can really just be fun to do. And you can use these fills in your outlines as well. So just some reference material here to get your juices flowing. And let's just take a good 5 minutes here and see how far we can get on one. So yeah, on this, whatever page this is, you can start with a circle and then just draw your petals like we've been doing. And if they're not super symmetrical, don't worry. Like, I think that some of the magic is how when you build enough layers, it really hides the imperfections. And hopefully you can start to see how this really will suck you in. Easy to lose time just making a mandala. And again, I encourage you, if you do have colors, to turn this into a coloring page. And you don't have to have everything be connected. Have some like floating elements too.
What's going on?
Next time, something the previous section. SpaceCraft Penguin.
Go ahead and color. How are these coming for you guys? Any questions so far?
There's a question. Obviously, it helps to repeat the same pattern. Is that required?
It's not required. This is, your own drawing, so you can make it however you want it to make it. But I think traditionally you repeat the shape all the way around to make it that radially symmetric form. But yeah, this is definitely a choose your own adventure situation. I taught this to some Microsoft research interns one time, and I had a girl in class say she was so proud to show that she had used the Fibonacci sequence in creating her layers. So there's all sorts of ways to do it. And there are people that get really perfectionist with it and will use like a compass. Like if you look on Instagram at mandala drawings, you can see some really impressive work. But I think part of the fun of it is embracing the imperfection and just enjoying the experience of making it more than getting super obsessive about the perfection of it. If you oh yeah.
Getting started, it seems like it's helpful for me to have some suggestions on the types of shapes. Are there more than just this cheat sheet, or?
I mean, there's definitely, if you wanted to look online, there's like if you look at mandala drawings, you could find a lot more reference material for sure. But yeah, what we're working with today is just these guys. But feel free to use your imagination as well. You could even go asymmetrically and do, I've seen ones that incorporate like waves. I'm trying to make this like a ocean wave. Getting symmetry. Getting a little wild over here. Aha. Yeah, this is all about just like having fun and letting loose a little bit creatively. So really anything goes. Another tip for coloring in the lines is to make little circles. If you're in coloring mode, that can sometimes help give you a little more control. And I'll just give us like 2 more minutes on this before we move on. Another favorite of my tools, if you're in the market, are these jelly rolls. You may remember from being a teenager. I don't know if they were big in my day, but they're really shiny. And if you color with them densely enough, they start to look kind of like paint, that gel ink.
Bonus, if you have any black construction paper, you can start passing your office mates notes like you're in class again.
Yes.
That's what we all did, right? The really black construction paper, glitter pens, just the world's most blinged out notes.
Heck yeah. Yep. All about it. Yeah, it's really cool being able to write on dark.
Next time. Mandalas.
Yeah, so again, hopefully you're just absorbed. I find this type of doodling just very like meditative. Kind of shuts other things down when you can just focus on drawing. But yeah, you can always come back to this if you like what you're doing, finish it later. Let's go ahead and move on to Zentangle Dangles. So these are kind of fun and kind of silly. The idea is just to dangle little doodles off of words or off of a line. You could write your name.
Next stop.
And then dangle some doodles underneath it. So just like connecting to the bottom. And as you can see here, Alyssa really made an effort to make each one different. And just to try to challenge herself to come up with different designs for each little dangle. So you can do that too if you want. You can put little end caps on your dangles. Or sometimes it can be fun to have like a repeating pattern. So that's an option too. And just kind of playful doodling is also a great way to look really focused in a meeting or in a class. It's a really good student. We can connect them, we can dangle more things. If there's any like, oh, you guys may remember this guy. Always do the S chain as a dangle. This still is ubiquitous as it once was. Thank you. Make them different lengths, different widths, whatever you want to do. All right, and I want to just give us enough time for some of this meatier stuff. The next page has some examples of some visual metaphors. These are really helpful for journaling. I don't know how many times I've tried to get myself to be in the habit of journaling, but this can really make it more interesting, at least for if you're feeling stuck, not a huge writer. This can, these are some good prompts to get you going. So I'm just gonna walk us through these and then we can try a couple more. So this one here has this little boat and the ocean, and you put your goal on the boat, and then like the wind at your back, what will help you reach that goal. And then the current lines down here, you can write what is causing drag and holding you back from reaching your goal. On this one, we've got a couple flowers, and you just write what's giving you life in those petals, just things that bring you joy. And then this one, like the roots of a tree, what are my areas of strength? And then conversely, this one, like tree branches, what are my areas in which I need to grow? So you can make these illustrations pretty simply, and then fill in with some journaling if you want to, or just get lost in the coloring. That is all good too. This one, Alyssa said she pulled directly from a cognitive behavioral therapy session, which has in the head of this body, what am I thinking? In the arms, what am I doing? And then the body, what am I feeling? And then outside the person is what am I avoiding? And with this one, important to note, like, what am I feeling is, you know, am I hot, am I cold, am I hungry, am I thirsty, those kind of things, as opposed to just like repeating what you're thinking again. Can be helpful. This one I like a lot. It has this kind of garden with underneath, what are the thoughts, things, or feelings you want to bury so you can move on. It can be really satisfying to make an entry like this and then like actually just color it over. Can be kind of cathartic. And then what makes the glass half full, what makes the glass half empty, kind of a classic, but I had a student in class one time make them into bubble tea cups, which was super cute. So, you know, just these are just kind of jumping off points for you to get going with. So yeah, so you have this now, you can reference it, you can create them at your leisure. I've got a couple more for you that we can do just on scratch paper. So this one is just called hand letting go. So what you're gonna do is trace your hand. And we're not gonna make any turkeys, don't worry.
Fuck shit, fuck shit.
You getting the marker on your hands?
Or was really excited for turkeys.
So the idea with this one, then we're gonna do some big like water drops. And the idea is just on your hand, you would write down some things that you want to hold on to, maybe some habits you want to keep. And then on the drops, you would write things that you want to let go of. So, and it can be fun too to like date these to then see your progress and, you know, if there's things that you're wanting to change, see if you've changed them at a later date. So let's see, I'm gonna put, I want to keep playing with my cat. It's a positive habit. And then I might say like doom scrolling before bed. Not a great habit, something I want to let go of. Speaking. And let's see. Staying up too late. So just a way to kind of make it visual when you're and think about, you know, some things in your life. And again, you've kind of created a coloring book page for yourself. So you can color this in however you want. You could add more detail. Get some knuckles going on in here. Nails. What else? And you can absolutely finish these later if you're, you know, drawing a blank, want to give yourself some time to come up with more ideas. That is just fine. I'm coloring in the ones that I filled in.
Hey, Allison, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I was caught up in the Zen tangle dangles and
Yeah.
I didn't quite hear. Are we shaking the water off of our hands? Is that what's happening? Okay.
Yeah.
I literally missed all of that.
Yeah, so that you put on the hand like things that you want to hold on to, habits you want to keep, and then things on the water droplets, things you want to let go of or wash away.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Very apt because the UW is trying its hardest to get rid of paper towels everywhere. Go to a new building. Good luck if you spill anything or get a bloody nose.
Oh no, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I thought this was a good one during COVID times too. It's like, wash your hands. Let's wash it off. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm going a little quickly, I suppose. I should slow down. All right, I'm gonna give us another minute on this. What else do I want to keep doing? Crochet. Do we have any crocheters or knitters in the house? I'm really happy that it's cold again so that I can get back to it. It's so hard to do in the summer, but I love it. All right. Let's set this one aside for now. This next one, it's a little cheesy, but it's called Pieces of My Heart. And you just draw a nice big heart and start breaking it up into pieces. And then you can just write in these pieces things that you really love, things you care about, things you're grateful for. And again, it can be nice to look back and reflect on. I had a couple in this class one time, and the first guy, the guy wrote on his heart was cheese. It was pretty funny, but she took it well. So yeah, I'm gonna say my cat. Mountains. You could draw little things in here too. or you can just color them in, the whole pieces. Or sometimes people like to do full color and then make like a legend on the side that's like, blue is the sky. I really love the blue sky. You know, there's no right or wrong way. You can also leave some space at the top if you wanted to like give it a heading, practice your lettering. Could be fun. Again, these are kind of like journal entries, so you can keep it to yourself. You can put it on the inside of your closet door as a nice reminder of all the things you love when you get dressed in the morning. Whatever you want to do. And do like a little legend over here that says breathe equals. Yeah. So yeah, pretty basic, pretty fun. Let's do one more. This one's sort of more from bullet journaling, but I've stolen it for this class. It's called like Rays of Fun. And what we do is we're creating like a sunshine, these big rays like we drew as a kid. But what we want is to create like a line array for, oh, sorry, I see a question. Name of the hand exercise, hand letting go is what I've been taught. And we want to create a line for each day of the month. So we want to end up with 30 lines around here, or 31. And then each day you can fill up a line with like something positive that happened that day. And then you can look back on the month and see all these fun things you did. I'm trying to go across just to get my symmetry down, but it's not really working. I need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11. Cool. 13, 14, 15. All right, so I should have 30 now. And so then you can, sorry, my cat just stole one of my colored pencils. But then you can write on here, like you can number for the days of the month. What is today, the 12th? And don't forget that you can turn your paper, always helpful. Anyway, so here's the 12th, and I'll just say Doodle Therapy. I like teaching this class. Then we can color it in. Because why not? All right. Another one that kind of comes from bullet journaling, and feel free at any point, you know, we've got about 15 minutes left. If you're enjoying following along, great. If you want to take a stab at one of the visual metaphors on the sheet earlier, that's great. Or if you want to keep working on your mandala, that's great too. No pressure. Just showing you a bunch of things so that you can go forth and continue your creative practice on your own time. So just want a lot of like very basic entry points here that hopefully will inspire you to keep some art journaling going. So another fun one is to do kind of a blob and then just outline it. We're going to keep outlining it, and eventually it starts to look like rings of a tree. It also can sometimes look kind of like a topography map. But it's kind of satisfying to do, and then you could use it in a similar way as the rays of fun if you wanted, or you could do like, some people use them as a mood tracker where you would color each ring like a different color depending on your mood. You could have a little legend on the side where, you know, red is I had a great day kind of thing. It's simple stuff, but it can create a bigger shift than you think.